7 decades since the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered, around 80 new fragments of the ancient texts have been revealed to the public.
Are now being deciphered 2,000 years later, thanks in part to artificial intelligence.
Deep beneath the desert, they were sealed away. 2,000-year-old scrolls written in a language few could read and fewer dared to understand. For decades, scholars argued over what they meant. But recently, a cutting-edge AI cracked part of the code, and what it uncovered has thrown everything into chaos. Scientists are in open conflict. Religious leaders are demanding silence, because hidden in those ancient texts is a message someone doesn't want the world to see. And the deeper we dig, the more it looks like this mystery was never meant to be solved. It wasn't advanced machines that found the Dead Sea Scrolls. It was just luck that Bedouin shepherds happened to walk by a cave near Qumran and find something strange. What they found inside would change the world of history, religion, and science. On the rocky floor of the dark cave, some clay jars were scattered. They contained fragile scrolls, yellowed and crumbling at the edges, hidden away for ages. While some had loosened slightly to reveal faded Hebrew script, others were still tightly bound. These manuscripts weren't just any old artifacts. They were some of the first handwritten copies of the Hebrew scriptures that had been kept intact over the ages, but that was where the mystery began. No one knew exactly who had written them. Were they scribes from a forgotten community, prophets, monks, or rebels hiding from Roman soldiers? And no one knew for sure why they had been hidden in caves. Many historians believe a Jewish sect called the Essenes may have copied and protected these writings. Some believe the scrolls were meant to protect sacred secrets from an invading army, while others thought they were hiding knowledge meant only for future generations. And the big question still remained. What do they really say? The Dead Sea Scrolls included everything from biblical texts to Jewish sectarian writings, deeds of sale, and even records of marriages. But there was a problem. Many of the scrolls were broken, burned, or faded. Some were no bigger than a fingertip. They had been written in ancient languages like Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek, so most were impossible to read. The scrolls weren't all the same, for some contained parts of the Bible, and others had laws, songs, or strange visions. Many scrolls were broken into tiny pieces, and some were burned or faded, so reading them became extremely difficult. Scholars from around the world studied the scrolls and tried to match the pieces, but many remained unreadable. They were written in different languages like Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek, so the task wasn't easy, and the meanings were often unclear. People worked for many years, and while they were able to understand some of the scrolls, others stayed quiet and hard to figure out. But one big question still stayed in everyone's minds. What if the parts no one could read hid amazing secrets? Could they have changed what we knew about the Bible or ancient history? Could something powerful have been locked inside the letters that no one had ever read? The mystery got even bigger, and no one could find the answers. Until now, scientists are using a super smart tool called quantum AI to read old writings that people couldn't understand before. And guess what? What they're learning could totally change how we think about history, belief, and who we are as people. So what did they discover? We'll get to that in a bit. But first, let's get to know about the amazing tool that made it all possible. Quantum AI is totally changing the way we see ancient history. And what it's uncovering is blowing everyone's minds. For years, experts carefully put together the Dead Sea Scrolls like the world's hardest puzzle, matching tiny, broken pieces by hand. It was slow, and they could only guess at what was missing. But now, with the power of quantum technology, things that used to take years can happen in just seconds. This new AI handles things quickly, but what's impressive is how well it figures them out. It can see hidden writing on pieces of parchment that look totally blank to the human eye. It finds patterns and links between scrolls that no one even thought were connected. Some scrolls have even turned out to be much older than we thought, maybe written when the people in the Bible were still alive. Even more amazing, this AI doesn't give just one possible answer. Instead, it gives several smart guesses, each one with its own chance of being right. It's like seeing many different versions of the past at once. All around the world, In high-tech labs, scientists are using this tool to unlock secrets that have stayed hidden for over 2,000 years, and they're only just getting started. Before now, dating the Dead Sea Scrolls was mostly guesswork. Experts could only say, somewhere between 300 years before Jesus and 200 years after. They used handwriting to guess the age, a method called paleography. But there was a big problem. No one had any scrolls from that exact time to compare with. It was like trying to figure out how old a letter is just by how the writer held their pen. Not very reliable. That's where quantum AI comes in. Using 24 scrolls that were dated using radiocarbon science, this smart system learned to spot writing styles and match them with real years. Like a high-tech detective, it connected old ink to solid dates. For the first time, we're not guessing anymore. We're seeing history as it becomes timed, tagged, and revealed, and what it's finding might just shake up everything we thought we knew. And at the center of this discovery was a powerful new tool, an advanced AI called Enoch. It was designed to study ancient scrolls, not just by reading the words, but by analyzing every detail of the handwriting, like the shape, slant, and thickness of letters. Enoch trained itself using thousands of old samples and then used advanced math to estimate the age of the scrolls. Its results were surprisingly accurate, often only 30 years off from the real date, better than many scientific dating methods. Also, real machines like Google's Sycamore and IBM's Q-System 1 are pushing the limits of what's possible. They're no longer just ideas from science fiction. They're here, and they're learning fast. The question is, what will they discover next? What the AI found next will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about history, religion, and ancient texts. And trust me, this is just the beginning of something even more incredible. When the AI tool, Enoch, studied two well-known writing styles, Hasmonean and Herodian, it discovered something surprising. Historians have believed that one style came after the other, like chapters in a book. But Enoch revealed that both styles were actually used at the same time. This meant that Jewish scribes didn't simply move on to newer ways of writing. Instead, they chose to keep using the older style, possibly to hold on to their traditions during a time of big changes in their world. Then came the biggest moment. Enoch studied fragments from the books of Daniel and Ecclesiastes and discovered that they were written during the same period when those books were originally believed to have been created. That means they could be the original writings, not later copies, but the first versions ever made. Researchers also used Enoch to study the writing on more than 130 other scrolls. What they found was shocking. Most of the dates Enoch gave were much older than what people thought before. Some scrolls that were believed to come from the Qumran community were actually written before anyone lived there.